as Vice Secretary of Majelis Diktilitbang PP
Recording in
Muhammadiyah,
progress.
and also the Honorable Mr. Ravi Mahija as TIE UPS International, and also our moderator for this event, and Dr. Safita Sarma as a representative from Manaf Rahma University, India, and also our speakers in this today's event. Dr. Haji Hoiruddin Basori MSI as a representative from Universitas Ahmad Dahlan, and also our speakers today, Dr. Ani Nur Hayati MSI as a psychologist from Universitas Muhammadiyah Lampung, and also our speakers today, and Dean, and also our distinguished guests in this event. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First and foremost, let us raise our praises to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His mercy and guidance, which has followed us to be here today in a good health and well-being, so that we can attend in today's event called Mind Education, Mindfulness in Education, collaboration between TIE UPS International, promoter India-Indonesia UD Links, and Majelis Diktilitbang PP Muhammadiyah. Salawat and salam always be upon to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us from the era of ignorance to the enlightened era we are experiencing today. Before we begin, let us all say Bismillah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. And before we moving to the main agenda, let us silent for a moment for the national anthem Indonesia Raya, followed by the Muhammadiyah anthem Mars Muhammadiyah. That will be shown shortly. Sang Surya by Jarnawi Hadi Kusumo. Thank you everyone for that solemn moment of unity. Now, to officially begin these sessions, it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Muzakir Esos MA PhD as the Vice Secretary of Majelis Diktilitbang PP Muhammadiyah to deliver his welcome remarks. Please, Mr. Muzakir, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Rehan, for your time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innalhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh la nabiyya ba'dahu. Honorable Steering and Organizing Committee, especially Dr. Chandra, the Chairperson, the Association of International Affairs of Office of Muhammadiyah in Asia Higher Education Institution or ASPI PTMA, as the organizer of this event in collaboration with TIE UPS International, promoter India-Indonesia and Echuling. Also, the Honorable Mr. Rafi Mahija from TIE UPS International Promoter, also as the moderator for this event. Distinguished speakers this event, Dr. Safita Sarma from Manas Rahma University, and second, actually this missionaire, Dr. Khairun Basori from Universitas Ahmad Dahlan, also Dr. Ani Nurhayati from Universitas Muhammadiyah Lampung, and all respective participants, including lecturers, students, and education practitioners who joined this great event today. First and foremost, let us express our gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His blessing and guidance, allowing us to gather today, albeit virtually, for the significant event titled the MindEd webinar, Mindfulness in Education. On behalf of the Council for Higher Education, Research and Development, or Majelis Diktilitbang, Central Board of Muhammadiyah, Pimpinan Pusat Muhammadiyah, I extend my highest appreciation to ASKUI, PTMA, and PIE, UPS International for initiating and organizing this crucial, important forum. The chosen theme, ensure holistic learning through mindfulness integrated education, is highly relevant to the contemporary challenges in education. Mindfulness in education is not merely technique, rather it is holistic approach that balance cognition, emotion, and mental well-being in the learning process in education. In the face of the rapid global transformation, students, educators are increasingly experiencing academic pressures and psychological burden. Therefore, mindfulness can serve as a vital strategy to enhance mental resilience, concentration, and overall academic success. In Muhammadiyah Higher Education Institution under the Central Board, under Council of Muhammadiyah Higher Education, Research and Development, we are committed to fostering a holistic education paradigm that not only emphasizes intellectual mastery, but also cultivate character and spiritual harmony. with the prophetical paradigm. Mindfulness as approach resonate with Islamic values that derive from the Islamic paradigm, like I mentioned before. It advocates self-awareness, reflection, and inner tranquility as essential aspects of knowledge acquisition. And distinguished participants, we hope that today's discussion will offer valuable insight, perspective, particularly in shaping more innovative and adaptive educational strategies within Muhammadiyah and Aisyah higher education institution that span from Papua, from North Sulawesi until Northeast, until East Nusa Tenggara. Furthermore, this collaboration between Indonesia and India signifies a crucial step in strengthening international academic partnership. Finally, uh, we, as on behalf of the Council of Muhammadiyah Higher Education Research and Development Central Board of Muhammadiyah, we encourage all of the us continue exploring and implementing educational framework that are human-centered, mentally enriching, and academically empowering. May this forum serve as meaningful contribution to advancement of education and well-being for our students, education, and all of the academic community in the Muhammadiyah higher education now and the next future. Thank you very much. Good luck to all of the stakeholders who are participate in this event. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Salam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Muzakir, for those insightful words and remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next our main agenda, there will be 3 sessions of discussions. I would like to hand over the sessions to our moderator, Mr. Ravi Mahija from TIE UPS International, who will guide us through today's exciting discussion. Mr. Ravi, over to you.
Ya, terima kasih banyak Pak Muhammad Raikan Natsir. A very good afternoon to you all. Selamat siang, salam hormat Bapak Ibu, and also our friends from India. A very brief introduction of myself, Bapak Ibu. Nama saya Rafi Makija, berasal dari India, originally from India. I think my face says it, but I think at the same time, Bapak Ibu, I think my dress also says that I'm also from Indonesia, Bapak Ibu, karena lagi pakai batik. Ya, berasal dari India, tapi sudah lama tinggal di Indonesia, sudah 25 tahun Bapak Ibu tinggal di Indonesia. And kami dari tim TIEPS, Bapak Ibu, adalah objektif bagaimana how India and Indonesia can work together in the field of education. Now, with this objective, Bapak Ibu, we would like to sincerely thank Majelis Diktilitbang, PP Muhammadiyah, for this opportunity that we are organizing this webinar on MindEd, which is called Mindfulness in Education. And today, Bapak Ibu, kita hari ini, izin ya Bapak Ibu, I will use the bahasa called gado-gado, yeah, which is Indonesian and English, yeah, just to make it a bit more interesting, so that not the people in Indonesia, our friends in Indonesia don't think I'm an Indian, but at the same time, our friends in India don't think that I'm an Indian. I'm also an Indonesian. So please allow me to do it in a bit of gado-gado. So Bapak Ibu, hari ini, today we have a topic called mindfulness. And today we have 3 renowned speakers, Bapak Ibu. Now, what is mindfulness? I think Dr. Muzakir already mentioned a bit. And just to add on to that, Bapak Ibu, kalau mau boleh tambahin sedikit, mindfulness is a practice that involves being aware of your current thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. Karena sekarang Bapak Ibu, we are all imploded with social media, right? So we are really not aware of what we are doing. So I think today's topic is very interesting, is the need of the hour. And today, Bapak Ibu, we have speakers from India, and also we have speakers from Indonesia, from Java, as well as from Sumatra, Bapak Ibu. So the first speaker, Bapak Ibu, the session is about ensure holistic learning through mindfulness, through mindful integrated education. And we have a speaker, Dr. Savita Sharma from India. Just a brief profile of her is Dr. Savita Sharma works as Associate Professor at School of Education and Humanities in Manav Rachna University in Faridabad, which is very close to Delhi. Dr. Savita Sharma has completed a MPhil, Masters of Philosophy, and PhD education from Jamia Millia Islamia University, one of the renowned universities, Bapaibu, in India. She's a recipient of the University Grant of Commission Junior and Senior Research Fellowship. Besides having more than 11 years of teaching and 6 years of full-time research experience, Bapaibu, she is also actively involved in conducting workshops in the area of mindfulness, which is very important, Bapaibu. That's the main topic for today. Right, with the areas of expertise in mindfulness and spirituality in education, peace, and value education. She has 11 publications, yeah, Bapaibu, to her credit. She has been selected as a member of the state focused by NCERT. Now, just for our friends in Indonesia, NCERT means National Council of Education, Research, and Training. She has also been selected as a member of the state focused by NCRT. She has also been selected as an expert reviewer for the manual on sports integrated education developed by the State Council. She has developed a number of audio and video programs for National Institute of Opening Schooling. She has developed an online course and with the topic nurturing mindfulness in educators and learning at Moonkit platform from IIT, which is a renowned institution in India, IIT Kanpur, and also two MOOCs, which is the Massive Open Lawn course under the UNESCO's Open Education to Better World initiative, where she's been selected 4 times as a mentor. For 2025, she has also been selected as a hub coordinator for the same initiative. So, Bapaibu, a lot of interesting things about Dr. Savita. So I would now request Dr. Savita to take over the floor and please enlighten us with the topic about mindfulness. Dr. Savita, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ravi. It was indeed a very generous introduction and warm greetings from India to all the lovely participants who have joined from across the world. And I represent here a team which is a reflection of universal humanism. That's something very, very important that we all need to learn. So it's again my privilege, my whole gratitude to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And today I will share my expertise and experience, whatever I have got in this area, with all the participants so that we can make mindfulness as not only a theoretical concept, but something which we can imbibe in our daily lives, especially when we see human development as a process of, everyday experiencing life to the fullest possible extent. I would be encouraging the participants to have their questions, which we can have it at the end. And there are few activities also as part of this session. So please make sure that all of you participate in those activities so that your learning from this session is maximum. With this, I'm just sharing my presentation and I'll be requesting Mr. Ravi if we can just confirm whether my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. You could just put it on the presentation. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So this particular theme, which is mindfulness in education. Friends, this theme has been very important since the human civilization, but post pandemic, we all know that we have had a major concern, and attention of humanity towards mental health. We all have had quite a challenging time, and especially when we see the world around, as the previous speakers have also shared, we see there are challenges in terms of the technological explosion, the knowledge explosion, the social media, everything. So we need to understand that when, as humanity, we are grappled with these challenges, we are also very proactive in finding out the solution. So we have reinvented, we have re-looked at what we have been, appreciating as age-old wisdom in the form of mindfulness, which of course has been part of almost all the religious traditions of world. Today we are integrating mindfulness. We are trying to understand its core principles and values, connecting it with real time scientific and psychological development. So in today's session, my effort, my whole idea would be, together, we will explore the core concept of mindfulness in terms of its diverse components. We will also be looking at, why mindfulness has become so important and why mindfulness is essential when it comes to, making sense to the way we are living our life on moment to moment basis. We will also be exploring the practical strategies that all of you, me and you, each one of you, we can adapt in our daily lives. And lastly, as coming from the field of education, because education is just not concerned with people who are educators. Education is about human development. So in different capacities we are connected with education. So we will also try to understand that how do we integrate education as part of the teaching learning process and as part of the classroom scenario. Moving forward, here there's an image representing Time magazine cover page. Though this cover page came a decade back, 2014 to be precise, it actually tells a very, very important theme. So, the Time magazine dedicated its entire edition to this important idea or the phenomena called mindfulness. And we have also seen, across the different researches, various scientific studies, that mindfulness as a phenomena is now being very, very widely researched. Uh, we can see the application of mindfulness in areas like human resource management, psychology, counseling, especially in medical field, how the pain management can be reduced with mindfulness. We have also seen diverse mindfulness based stress reduction techniques as being very widely employed. So we now understand that as a humanity, we have got this very powerful tool in our hands called mindfulness. But now we have to learn how to make mindfulness a part of our life. Friends, I can share with my experience that, with this particular in this particular field from past 10 plus year, being a mindfulness practitioner myself, you can actually see the changes in the way you speak, you understand, you observe, you communicate with others in a very, very short span of time, provided we have integrated mindfulness in a very consistent manner. So, probably through this session, I would like to invite each one of you to really take up this idea and make it very much part of your living. Here, I'm sharing a very important insight. You can see on your screen two very, very prominent psychologists. They are from University of Harvard. Now, these psychologists have done this very interesting research. Though we have already, discussed that there have been a lot of scholarly work going on in the area, but this research is very important, and I would be appreciating if you people can, or everybody can contribute through chat in case there are question and answer round. So you can see that these two psychologists have done very interesting research. What did they do? They actually asked 2,250 volunteers as participants of the research with age range from 18 to 80 years. Okay. And they used an Apple iPhone app to actually conduct their research. And this research talks about or asks three questions to the participants. Listen it very carefully. Three questions to the participants throughout the day. So the first question, it is like with installation of that app on my mobile phone, I'll get the notification if I'm the participant of this study. The first question will ask me, hello, hello, how are you feeling? This is the first question. The second question asks me, hello, hello, what are you doing? And the third question is, hello, hello, is your mind thinking any other thing apart from what you are doing? Let me repeat the third question. Third question this study asks is your mind thinking any other thing apart from what you are doing? This sounds interesting, right? To your surprise, the participants have had different answers, and the two important findings that came out as a result of this study is the first one: 46%, 46.9 to be very precise, 46%, 46.9% of our waking hours. So, waking hours like the hours that we are spending now, while being in the seminar, while doing our different things. So 46.9% of the times, the average human being is in a wandering state. So when I say wandering state means not really into the task that is being currently done by you. That means your mind is thinking or somewhere else in the past or in the future, but not in the present moment. Now, this is an alarming yet a very, very important fact for all of us to know. The second finding, it suggests and it relates to the previous finding. It states that when our mind is wandering, the wandering mind is one of the biggest reasons for an unhappy mind. So, this is how we can directly correlate that the state of your mind in terms of your attention in the present moment is directly related to how you are feeling. Now, this is done by a very, very renowned university, as I have shared, Harvard University. This actually makes each one of us question that how are we living our life and how we can make it better. So, first, we need to understand that a wandering mind is a universal phenomena, which of course does not mean that we should live our life with the same mindset, it means that recognizing the problem, that yes, wandering mind actually is a problem, and it has been further aggravated by the kind of environment we are living in. But we also need to understand that this wandering mind is just not about you are not able to do the task effectively, it's also about how you are feeling. Just imagine if half of the time we are not happy. I'm sure each one of you, everyone, we want to be happy, productive, and progressive in life. So, if our state of mind, whether we are present in the moment or not, has so much of influence on our happiness, I think it is worth trying to incorporate mindfulness and make our life more happy. Now, since this particular session is about understanding mindfulness in context of education, I would like all of you to have a look at the five prominent initiatives. These are just the five which I have picked up for this presentation, but there are many. In fact, after the presentation, I'll be sharing very important resources with each one of you so that you can actually explore mindfulness in terms of strategies and techniques in your life and in your classroom. So, the mindfulness as an initiative has been introduced in 370 schools of England in 2019. I'm sure the authorities are also realizing its importance. The Oxford Mindfulness Center, which is at the University of Oxford, it has been running its own research and training wing since 2008. In fact, they have got a very uh, effective app, mobile app. I'll share the link. You all can download it, and you would see that you will find a lot of useful material directly from University of Oxford through this app. In fact, Australia, it has introduced in 2018 its first dedicated mindfulness curriculum in school. If I talk about India, the place from where I come from, in the same year 2018, the Delhi government has initiated a very revolutionized concept called happiness curriculum. I'm sure you have heard of this concept or this initiative. If you have, please just give me thumbs up in the chat box. I We can just see how mindful are we. If I can have a thumbs up, if you have heard of happiness curriculum as an initiative. Uh, Ravi sir, I think the participants have the right. Yeah, I can see a lot of thumbs up being now shown. Wonderful. Yeah. So Delhi government has introduced happiness curriculum in more than 1,000 government schools in Delhi, covering class nursery to class 8th. And as part of this happiness curriculum, mindfulness is an important aspect. And today, when we talk about if any country is developing or is uh, complying with all the parameters of what we call true development, it's just not about economic development. It's just not about what GDP or GNP says. The whole idea of development also takes into account what we call happiness index. So, as part of happiness index, the well-being of the people, the psychological health of the people is extremely important. So, I hope now we are able to connect that mindfulness is just not related to one's life as an individual. It has its social relevance, it has its educational relevance, it has its economic relevance. Moving forward, when I say that mindfulness is important for education and therefore we have seen that a lot of authorities have taken initiatives, and we are in the process of taking more. We need to understand broadly that you learn only when you are attentive. I'm sure you all would agree with me on this. Today, when we have 120 plus participants in this interesting webinar, we need to really ask ourselves this question, that we are here because we want to learn something. But are we truly here? I'm sure we all want to be here. But are we truly here? That is mindfulness. So, for education, when we say that learning has to have a, a quality parameter, all learners must learn. The attention is a prerequisite. The level of your focus, where your mind is a prerequisite. How well prepared a teacher is. If the child is not attentive, the learning will not happen. Secondly, we now see, especially among the adults, among the adolescents, there are a lot of problems with respect to emotional regulation. And I'm sure we also would realize in our life when we say that, when we say to our friend, please don't get me wrong, I didn't mean to say that, right? Or when my exam is tomorrow, I really want to focus, but because I'm disturbed or I'm overwhelmed, please understand, it's just not the negative emotions. There can be positive emotions which can sometimes distract us from the present moment. So, if I want to learn emotional regulation, if I want to make my children, my students learn emotional regulation, the power to use my emotions in the right way, I need to learn mindfulness. Post COVID, mindfulness has become a very important tool to work on your mental health as a teacher, as a student, as a parent. And obviously, we want our students to succeed in professional life, in whichever career they are picking up. So, if we want to ensure that students are able to optimize their potential, they need to have 100% dedication and focus and attention to the task that they are doing. So, it is important that children learn how to give their 100% to the professional activities or to the learning activities they are engaged in. Today, mindfulness is also very, very important when you connect it with the idea of self awareness. So, my friends who are in the area of education, they understand the importance of metacognition. What is metacognition? Thinking about thinking. So, as an individual learner, as an individual educator, I should know what kind of person I am. What are my strengths? What are my learning style? What are my weaknesses? What are the areas of improvements? And that will only be possible if I am in state of mindfulness. Friends, mindfulness is important not only for your own understanding, but once you are able to understand yourself better, you'll be able to understand others better. You'll be able to empathize. You'll be able to listen. You'll be able to really get into the situation and try to understand what is others' perspective. Therefore, mindfulness is equally important for your emotional intelligence, for understanding others. And the crux of all the points that I've discussed so far is when you are living, when you are living a life, passing through various moments, various emotions, it just can't happen in vacuum. There has to be a sense of it. There has to be a meaning. There has to be a satisfaction. There has to be a life in life. And the life in life is only possible when you can experience it fully, when you can experience the present moment completely. And this comes through mindfulness. So, I'm sure we all know that mindfulness is important and we really want to practice mindfulness. But is it that easy? Please write in the comment box on a scale of 1 to 10. Where do you rate the current state of your mindfulness? Or maybe 6, maybe 7, 10 being the highest. Where do you see in an ordinary day? Where do you see your state of mind as far as mindfulness is concerned? You may please choose the response from 1 to 10. 10 denotes the highest and 1 denotes the lowest. And friends, don't hesitate, because you know it's not really the thing that everybody is mindful. I mean, we all have our own struggles. Being in the field of mindfulness from past 10 years, I won't rate it beyond 8 or beyond 7, right? Because wandering mind is a phenomena. I can see a lot of responses. It's good to see that you all are very active. Okay, so it's understandable that our mindfulness is not in all right shape. It needs a lot of work and rework. Why it is not in sound shape? Because somewhere, just a minute, I'm just trying to change the slide. Yeah. We need to understand that there are challenges in the form of technological explanation, information overload, impact of social media, especially among the youth. We often see the problem of identity crisis. We often see the problem of growing aggression, mental health concern. There are uncertainties on account of war, economic slowdown. There is uncertainty. You can't deny it. And in this, we are faced with the whole emotion of negativity and pessimism. And in such scenario, it becomes difficult. It becomes rather more natural for us to think of what will happen. How will I navigate my finances? How will I ensure that my family is supported well? How I ensure that I'm able to grow in a way I want? So it is natural, but friends, we also need to understand that what is important. If we want result, it is important that we are able to contribute and live and utilize the moment which is coming to us in a most natural and in a most organic way. And that's possible through mindfulness. Let us now try to move from, you can see the two pictures on my screen. Let us try to move from mindful, which is FULL, to the state of mindful. It is interesting. Just think of your mind in any moment. We are always grappled. We are always engrossed with, did I lock my door? What I would be making in the dinner? What my friend must be thinking? What should I plan on the weekend? I spoke with my boss in this way. What he or she must be thinking, right? And we want to be mindful like this child. You can see the child is experiencing the moment as it is happening. Complete focus, complete energy, complete involvement with the life here and now. And this is what we all aspire to do. This is what we all aspire to achieve in our life. We want to move from mindful to mindfulness. How we can do that? Let us first understand what is mindfulness. Now, we must be having a sort of vague idea or a sort of a kind of understanding which cannot be termed as scientific, but as we are part of this discussion and this webinar, as important key takeaway, you as participant must have a clear understanding of mindfulness. And here I'm sharing with you this definition by John Kabat-Zinn. Now, he's the person, American psychologist, who has been very, very actively involved in bringing the wisdom of mindfulness from the tradition of Buddhism to the mainstream psychology. Through his various laboratory experiments, he's just trying to understand, of course, with his team, and he's been producing amazing research as to what kind of changes happen in your mind when it is in state of mindfulness. So it's very scientific, friends. There are real time neurobiological changes which happen in your brain when you practice mindfulness. And of course, this can call for another full-fledged lecture. But here, I just want to give you the idea that mindfulness has been studied from the perspective of science and psychology through various sophisticated scientific devices, so that our human mind is convinced with the fact that I need to, and it has a substantial possibilities. So John Kabat-Zinn, he defines mindfulness as the awareness that arises from paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non judgmentally. Make it very simple. There are three components. One, present moment attention. So the key idea is being in the present. Second important dimension, that attention is conscious, that attention is purposeful. You have a specific task, a specific activity to focus on. And third, your focus or your attention is non judgmental. Friends, I think this is, the most difficult part. Being non judgmental. Your awareness and your attention is not influenced by your previously held belief or how you have experienced life before this moment. We are going to take one after the other each of these three components. But before that, I want all of you to quickly have a look at this wonderful video. I'm just playing it and I'll be requesting Mr. Ravi if you can just tell me when the video is available.
Sure, Dr. Savita. Just a gentle reminder, 10 minutes
Yeah.
more, Doctor. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yes, Dr. Savita, we can see a glass. There's no audio. Dr. Savita, sorry, we couldn't hear
Yes.
any audio. Or is it only at my end? I think it's
No, I think, participants may please confirm.
right. Bapak Ibu, apakah suaranya bisa dengar? Or am I the only one? Atau apakah cuma saya?
No.
Okay, let me just share it again quickly.
No sound, but yeah.
All
It's
right, all right. I think now we should be able to.
I think you could share it once again with the sound. I think there's an option of
The vase of water is our mind,
yes.
and the different colours of sand are our thoughts and feelings. What kinds of thoughts do you have when waking up? Pick a colour of sand that feels right for your feelings or thoughts. This is how our minds are when we are in a hurry, stressed, angry, or upset. Can you see things clearly in this state? Let's breathe with the bell and observe all the sand as it slowly settles to the bottom of the jar. This is what happens to our minds when we meditate, when we are mindful of our body and of our breathing. What is the water like now? The thoughts and feelings can still be there in our minds, but rest peacefully at the bottom because we know how to return to our breathing to calm them.
All right. So this was the video. I think you have got an understanding of how you can, just a minute, I'll just get back to this. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen again. Sir, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So these were the 3 dimensions. I'll quickly cover because of the constraint of time. So when we say awareness of the present moment, it means that you are having a direct observation of your mind and your body, your thinking and your feeling. It does not mean that you control it. It just means paying a conscious attention. And friends, as we work on our physical body, we go to gym, we do physical exercise, we eat healthy food. Similarly, we need to understand the whole mechanism of mindfulness is that there's a attention muscle in your mind, and the purposefully you work over it, you will be able to see the efficiency of your mind in being in the present state. The second dimension of mindfulness, as I have already shared, that this kind of attention that we give to every moment is purposeful. You know, we have this theory of stimulus response. This theory was the old theory of behaviorism, when we used to believe that human beings are like machines. There's an input, you follow certain command, and there's an output. If somebody has banged my car, I need to shout, come on, this is natural reaction. However, mindfulness teaches me that no, it's not necessary. You, as a responsible individual, you have the power of choice. So there's a space between stimulus and response. Mindfulness gives me that autonomy, that space to actually choose what I call my decision, or how I want to respond. So there's a difference between reaction and responding. I'm not reacting to the situation. Rather, I am very carefully, thoughtfully, with mindfulness, I'm trying to respond to the situation. I'm not running my car in an autopilot mode. I'm having its steering wheel because attention muscle is in my control. That is mindfulness. And this is important aspect, that I need to be in the moment without any kind of judgment. Now, friends, it might be difficult, but it's not impossible. You have to just imagine yourself as an audience of the movie. So when you see that a movie is running on the screen, you can just completely get into it and you can just cry if you feel that you are an actor. But if you know that this is a movie, you need to understand that mindfulness teaches you the healthy detachment from the situation so that you can take a pause, and you can apply your muscle of attention. How you want to make mindfulness, how will you do make sure that mindfulness becomes part of your life? As I said, in the whole mechanism of mindfulness, understand that in your mind there's a muscle, the muscle of attention. Every day, just take out 5 minutes and strengthen that muscle. And the logic and the mechanism is you have to pick up one reference point. What is reference point? Any object, any specific phenomena like nature. And for those 5 minutes, just try to completely focus your attention on that reference point. If your mind is drifting away, that's perfectly fine. Just bring it back. And according to your personality, according to your specific situation and the kind of person you are, you can pick up your own mindfulness technique. For example, there is mindful breathing. We also have what we call mindful walking. So, in mindful breathing, your focus is on breath. You put your complete attention on the way you are inhaling and exhaling with a comfortable posture. Every mindfulness technique, excuse, every mindfulness technique must be practiced in silence. That's important. There can be mindful walking, there can be mindfulness with music, there can be mindful eating, mindfulness through journaling, mindfulness with nature. Now, if you have heard of any of these techniques, please write in the chat box. Anything, any technique that you feel you have already heard or you have practiced, just write in the chat box. Yes, I can see. So can you hear me, Ravi sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if any of the participant would like to, write in the chat box. Okay. Mindfulness itself is very new, at least to me personally. Okay, sir. I think it's new, but it's interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there are different mindfulness ways you can actually uh, experiment with. Because of shortage of time, I cannot take up these technique, but I would love to have full-fledged, yes. So yoga, uh, uh, I think Pushpita participant is asking, is yoga included? Definitely. The reference point for mindfulness in yoga session is the specific movement of your body that you're performing as part of yogic asanas. So the best part of mindfulness is it's a secular, flexible practice which does not bind you in a rigid framework. The only logical point you have to remember is that there is one reference point. It can be nature, it can be walk, it can be movement, it can be breath. But consistency is very important. So for 5 minutes, just ensure that you are paying complete attention on your specific reference point. So this way you can experiment with a lot of activities, and therefore you can just make mindfulness as part of your life. I think I would stop my presentation here. Just let me know if there are any questions, uh, or I'm sharing important resources with all of you in the chat box. That's something which would be helpful, and I am open for the discussions and the questions from the participants.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Savita. I do understand um, that your topic is actually quite vast and you need at least a minimum of 1 hour.
Absolutely, sir.
I
Absolutely.
totally understand that, and I did mention, to the organizers, but then due to the limitation of time,
Agree.
apologies, Dr. Savita, but
No
very
problem.
insightful. I think it's pretty interesting to see to see the part about present moment, purposefulness, non-judgmental, easy words, but very difficult to implement. Uh, Unconsciously, we are doing them, but we don't realize how the technological explosion. I think, Bapa Ibu, we all use social media. I think 1 hour we don't work, but we want to see the reels. We want to see our WhatsApp. I think these are the disturbances, and that's where the mindfulness topic is very interesting. Thank you so much, Dr. Savita. Thank you also for sharing. Yeah, jadi Bapak Ibu ada informasi. There are a lot of resource material yang Dr. Savita will share in the chat box because of the
I have
limitation of
already
time.
shared.
Yeah, right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And ma'am, maybe we would also like to have a copy of your presentation and also these resource
Absolutely.
materials
Absolutely.
so we can share it with all our friends, with all our stakeholders in Indonesia, right, about mindfulness, right? Thank you once again, Bapak Ibu. A round of applause to Dr. Savita. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Bapak Ibu. So we finished the first session, and thank you, Dr. Savita. We were on time, for the session. Okay, jadi the session number 2, Bapak Ibu, we have from Dr. Haji Khairuddin Bashuri, MSc dari Universitas Muhammadiyah, maaf, Universitas Ahmad Dahlan, Yogyakarta. Uh, Bapak Khairuddin is a lecturer at the Faculty of Psychology at Ahmad Dahlan University, Yogyakarta, the cultural capital of Indonesia, Bapak Ibu. It's a beautiful place. Born in Yogyakarta on October 2, 1962, he completed his doctoral education at Universitas Gadjah Mada in the field of education psychology. He previously served as the rector of Muhammadiyah University Yogyakarta dari tahun 2002 sampai tahun 2028. Also the chairman of APTISI, Asosiasi Perguruan Tinggi Swasta Indonesia, for Region 5, Region 5 of the Special Region of Yogyakarta, and also the director of postgraduate program at Muhammadiyah University of Ponorogo. In addition, uh, Bapak Khairuddin is actively involved in community activities. He's also engaged in human resource capacity development in both education and industrial sectors. Among his published books are Psychological Problems of Santri, The Risk of Attachment Insecurity, Psychology of Sakina Families, Social Psychology, textbook on Islamic psychology and organization commitment, a review of various public and private organizations. Pa Corridon's main occupation now is traveling back and forth as a public speaker, both domestically and internationally, Bapak Ibu. So again, I think we are looking forward for this session, Bapak Ibu. So may I now request Dr. Haj Khairuddin Bashuri to please take over. Pak Khairuddin, silakan Bapak. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Labu. I will share my presentation. Oh, I don't know why my cursor, it doesn't work. I don't know why.
Can we help you, Bapak?
Yeah, maybe admin can share my presentation.
Ya, minta Bapak Ibu admin tolong bisa bantu
Tidak
Pak
tahu
Khairuddin
kursornya
untuk
kenapa
slide-nya
dipancet.
bisa di-upload. Dari admin, Bapak Ibu bisa dibantu, terima kasih.
Ya, bisa dibantu. Nggak tahu ini kenapa macet.
Ya, sebentar ya Bapak. Ya, ini udah Pak.
Baik, terima kasih. My session is talking about the role of mindfulness in enhancing cognitive and emotional resilience in learning. As a psychologist, I will see this title from a psychological perspective. As we know, in today's fast-paced, constantly changing world, the ability to focus and regulate emotions and maintain a balanced state of mind has become more important than ever. One powerful practice that has gained increasing recognition in psychology and education is mindfulness, the art of paying full attention to the present moment without judgment. Mindfulness involves a state of awareness where individuals observe their thoughts, emotion, and surrounding with acceptance and curiosity, rather than reacting impulsively or being overwhelmed by distraction. The growing body of research on mindfulness highlights its profound impact on mental well-being, cognitive development, and emotional regulation. Originally rooted, as Dr. Safira mentioned, from Buddhist meditation tradition, mindfulness has since been adapted into mainstream psychological and educational framework. It is now widely implemented in school, universities, workplace as an effective tool for enhancing concentration, reducing stress, and fostering resilience. At its core, mindfulness encourages individuals to be fully engaged in their experiences without letting their thoughts drift to past regrets or future anxieties. By practicing mindfulness, learners develop greater self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and cognitive control, all of which are crucial for effective learning and problem solving. One of the reasons mindfulness is so beneficial is in education is its ability to improve attention span and focus. In an age of digital distraction, many students and professionals struggle with maintaining concentration for extended period. Mindfulness technique such as controlled breathing and focused observation train the brain to sustain attention on task, resulting in better comprehension and retention of information. The integration of mindfulness into psychology and education is based on extensive research demonstrating its positive effect on cognitive and emotional resilience. Some of the key benefits include enhanced cognitive functioning, emotional regulation and resilience, reduce anxiety and stress, increase self-awareness and empathy, better adaptability and creativity. The benefit of mindfulness extend far beyond the classroom. As a lifelong skill, mindfulness equips individuals with the mental resilience needed to navigate career challenges, interpersonal conflicts, and personal growth. Whether applied in academic settings, professional development, or daily life, mindfulness serves as a foundation for self-improvement, emotional stability, and overall well-being. As mindfulness continues to gain recognition in psychology and education, it's also its role in shaping more focused, emotionally balanced, and resilient learners becomes increasingly evident. By incorporating mindfulness practices into daily routines, individual can harness its powerful benefits to enhancing learning, improve mental health, and cultivate a more fulfilling and mindful approach to life. Mindfulness is a mental practice that emphasizes present moment awareness and non-judgmental acceptance of thoughts, emotion, and sensation. It is a state of being fully engaged with the present, free from distraction, and without excessive concern about the past or the future. This mental discipline fosters a sense of clarity, emotional balance, and cognitive flexibility, making it a valuable tool in both personal and professional life. Mindfulness has deep historical roots in Buddhist tradition, particularly in meditation practices such as Vipassana and Zen. In this tradition, mindfulness often referred to as sati in Pali, the language of early Buddhist text, is considered a fundamental path to enlightenment and self-awareness. It involves paying close attention to one's thought, emotion, and physical sensation without clinging to or pushing them away. While mindfulness originated in a spiritual context, it has been widely adapted into modern psychological practices, particularly in therapeutic intervention and self-improvement techniques. The transition of mindfulness from Buddhist spiritual practice to a secular psychological tool was largely influenced by John Kabat-Zinn, an American professor of medicine and the founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction. John Kabat-Zinn played a crucial role in bringing mindfulness into Western psychology and medicine. He defined mindfulness as mentioned before, awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. The definition, highlights several essential elements of mindfulness: paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmental. As mentioned before, mindfulness is based upon three fundamental components: attention, awareness, and acceptance. In modern psychology, mindfulness is integrated into various therapeutic and self-improvement techniques. Some of the most well-known applications include mindfulness-based stress reduction, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy. Numerous studies have shown that mindfulness practices enhance mental well-being, improve emotional regulation, and increase cognitive flexibility. By training the mind to remain focused and present, mindfulness strengthens an individual ability to navigate challenges with resilience and clarity. While mindfulness has its origin in Buddhist tradition, its benefits are universally applicable, whether in education, the workplace, healthcare, or daily life. Mindfulness enhances focus, emotional stability, and overall well-being. Through attention, awareness, and acceptance, mindfulness cultivates a state of clarity and inner peace, allowing individual to respond to life complexities with a sense of balance and purpose. Cognitive resilience and learning, the role of mindfulness in mental adaptability. As we know, in an increasingly complex and fast-paced world, the ability to think clearly, adapt to new challenges, and remain focused under pressure is crucial for success in both academic and professional setting. This ability is known as cognitive resilience, the capacity to process information efficiently, adjust to the unexpected changes, and maintain mental clarity even in stressful situations. Cognitive resilience, the capacity to process information efficiently, enable individuals to stay motivated, overcome setback, and continuously learn, making it a key factor in personal and intellectual growth. One of the most effective ways to strengthen cognitive resilience is through mindfulness, a practice that enhances focus, emotional regulation, and problem-solving skills. By training the mind to stay present and engaged, mindfulness helps learners develop mental flexibility, improve memory, and foster creativity, all essential components of successful learning and decision making. What is cognitive resilience actually? Cognitive resilience refers to the brain's ability to adapt to challenges, process information effectively, and recover from cognitive stress or setbacks. It allows individuals to maintain concentration despite distraction, retain and apply new information efficiently, solve complex problems with logical and creative thinking, adjust to changes in learning or work environment, stay motivated, and preserve and persevere in the face of difficulties. Cognitive resilience is especially important in education where students often face high workloads, complex subjects, and the pressure of exam. It also plays a crucial role in professional setting where individuals must analyze information, make quick decisions, and innovate under pressure. How mindfulness enhances cognitive resilience? Mindfulness practices train the brain to remain calm, focused, and adaptable in the face of challenges. Studies have shown that regular mindfulness training strengthens neural connection in area of the brain responsible for attention control, memory retention, and cognitive flexibility. Below are the key ways in which mindfulness enhances cognitive resilience and learning. 1. Improving focus and attention. 2nd, enhancing working memory and problem-solving skill. The 3rd, boosting cognitive flexibility and creativity. The benefit of mindfulness are not just short-term. They contribute to long-term cognitive resilience by helping individuals develop a more adaptive, focused, and creative mindset. Some of the ways mindfulness supports long-term cognitive resilience include reducing mental focus, strengthen neural pathways, regular mindfulness practice, has been shown to enhance brain plasticity, allowing for continuous learning and adaptation. Encouraging lifelong learning. By improving cognitive flexibility, mindfulness fosters curiosity and the ability to learn new skills at any stage of life. Cognitive resilience is essential for success in learning, problem solving, and adapting to an ever-changing world. Mindfulness serves as a powerful tool to enhance focus, strengthen memory, boost creativity, and improve problem-solving ability. By integrating mindfulness into daily life, whether through meditation, mindfulness breathing, or focus awareness practices, individuals can train their mind to remain adaptable, clear, and resilient in the face of challenges. As research continues to support the link between mindfulness and cognitive resilience, it is becoming increasingly evident that mindfulness is not just a wellness practice, but a fundamental skill for enhancing learning, personal growth, and professional success. What about emotional resilience in learning? Emotional resilience refers to an individual's ability to cope with stress, regulate emotion, and stay motivated despite challenges. In the context of learning, resilience plays a crucial role in academic success, problem solving, and personal growth. The key aspect of emotional resilience in learning: one, managing stress. Students often face academic pressure, deadlines, and performance expectation. Resilience allows them to approach challenges with a growth mindset rather than feeling overwhelmed. Strategies such as time management, relaxation techniques, and seeking social support can help reduce stress. Regulating emotion. Learning involves frustration, setback, and failures. Emotional regulation helps students stay calm, process emotion effectively, and avoid impulsive reactions. Techniques like cognitive reappraisal, deep breathing, and journaling can enhance emotional control. Maintaining motivation. Intrinsic motivation fuels long-term learning, while external pressure may lead to burnout. Resilient students set goals, develop self-discipline, and use positive reinforcement to sustain their motivation. Strategies like setting achievable milestones, practicing self-compassion, and reflecting on progress help maintain engagement. The role of mindfulness in emotional resilience and learning. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of thought, emotion, and surrounding without judgment. It has a profound impact on emotional resilience and learning outcome. How mindfulness support learning? One, reduce anxiety and stress. Second, enhance emotional regulation and self-awareness. The third, improve motivation and perseverance. Practical strategies to build emotional resilience and mindfulness in learning. One of them is mindfulness breathing exercise, gratitude journaling, progress reflection, growth mindset training, balanced study routines. By integrating emotional resilience and mindfulness into learning, students can develop stronger coping mechanisms, enhance academic performance, and cultivate a healthier mindset towards education. Scientific research has consistently demonstrated that mindfulness practices significantly enhance cognitive function, emotional regulation, and academic performance. The following is a detailed breakdown of the key research findings supporting the role of mindfulness in learning. Mindfulness improve working memory and concentration. A study conducted by J found that individuals practicing mindfulness meditation exhibit improved working memory capacity. This effect was particularly notable in high-stress environments, such as military personnel undergoing intensive training. Another study by Zaidan et al. Showed just 4 days of mindfulness training significantly improved working memory and executive functioning in college students. Mindfulness also enhances concentration and focus. A landmark study of Mrazek found that students who underwent a 2-week mindfulness training program demonstrate increased attention and a reduced tendency for mind wandering during lectures and study session. Tang et al. Discovered that mindfulness meditation improved sustained attention and cognitive control by increasing activity in the interior cingulate cortex and a brain region responsible for focus and decision making. The second evidence comes from mindfulness-based stress reduction and academic performance. By MBSR can improve academic performance. Also evident from neuroscientific evidence, mindfulness improve brain function. There are several researchers in this area. The scientific case of mindfulness in education, we can say that the convergence of psychological research, neuroscientific studies, and academic performance assessment provides overwhelming evidence that mindfulness play a transformative role in learning. We can jump to the next slide. Some case study and example of mindfulness in education and professional setting. Mindfulness program in school improve focus and emotional well-being.
Pak Khairuddin, maaf Bapak,
Ya.
I think the slide yang kita punya belum ada yang it's not ini Pak, kita kan cuma ada slide conclusion. Apakah ada file sama Bapak enggak Pak?
Ya ini slide-nya yang ditampilkan itu.
Ya, oke. Karena ada beberapa slide Pak yang karena kita kan cuma ada 10 slide Pak di PowerPoint yang dapat kami
ya.
Ya. Jadi
ya itu saja.
Oh boleh ya Pak. Oke, maaf ya Pak. Silakan Bapak.
Ada beberapa catatan kecil saya kira yang perlu saya highlight.
Ya.
Misalnya, studies published in Journal of American College Health revealed that 60% of students reported lower stress level after incorporating mindfulness into their routine. Cognitive mindfulness improve cognitive clarity, help students retain and recall information more efficiently. Participants exhibited enhanced emotional resilience, which reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. Higher GPA scores were observed among students who consistently practice mindfulness in a daily life. So uh, that's why mindfulness is very important in learning now. As a conclusion, I will jump to the conclusion that mindfulness is a valuable tool in enhancing cognitive and emotional resilience. Practical application can lead to improved learning outcome. Continuous research and integration into education system are essential. At last, encouraging students and educators to adopt mindfulness practices can foster a healthier learning environment. Thank you, Rafi.
Thank you so much, Papa. Thank you so much for your insightful presentation. Very important ya Bapak Ibu karena we are talking about enhancing cognitive and emotional resilience. Penting ya Bapak Ibu, very important because today's generation, how do we adapt, right? How do we adapt to the challenges which we are facing? And I think especially in the education sector, ini Bapak Ibu penting ya. Ini kan penting. Jadi kita harus enhance, kita berkembang cognitive and emotional resilience in learning. Jadi kita bisa belajar dengan lebih efektif. So sekali lagi, thank you so much, Dr. Khairuddin, for your presentation.
Sama-sama.
Pak, ya mungkin Pak maaf, we would need your updated PowerPoint Pak karena dengan komite masih ada beberapa slide yang belum ada Pak. Jadi mungkin Bapak bisa dikirimkan komite. Jadi kita bisa kirim ke semua peserta nih Pak. Ya.
Ya,
Ya, oke. Ya, makasih Bapak. Thank you so much.
baik.
Oke. Ya, so Bapak Ibu, jika ada pertanyaan, any questions, there are a few questions in the chat box. Silakan Bapak Ibu, please put in all your queries because Dr. Savita, Dr. Khairuddin Bashuri, and also a third speaker will all be there and to answer your Q&As in the Q&A session. Oke, Bapak Ibu, sekarang it comes to the third session of today's webinar, Bapak Ibu, adalah yang tentang mindfulness-based interventions for student well-being and academic success. And Bapak Ibu, for this, we have a speaker. So we move from Yogyakarta, Bapak Ibu, to Lampung. So we move to Sumatra. And bersama kita, Bapak Ibu, kita ada Ibu Ani Nurhati. Beliau adalah the Vice Rector for Academic in Universitas Muhammadiyah Lampung dari tahun 2018 sampai saat ini. She's also been with Muhammadiyah University ya dari tahun 1997. A lecturer with very warm and friendly attitude, skilled in conflict resolution, a team builder who really cares about the needs of employees and students, timely problem solver, and avid multitasker. The track record is an important part of management team and plays a role in providing effective solutions that have an immediate impact and contribute to the long-term success of the university. Ibu Ani Nurhayati's motto is never give up before trying. One step to get started is the beginning to the next big steps. Very inspiring, Ibu. So thank you so much, Ibu. Terima kasih
Thank
for
you.
being a part of this webinar. And we look forward, Bu, to uh, hear and learn from you about the topic mindfulness-based interventions for student well-being and academic success. Over to you, Ibu. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rafi. I will share my. Okay. Okay. Can see my presentation?
Yes, Bu, but not fully, Bu. Bisa di maximize, Bu, maaf. Bisa
Okay.
di screen maximize. Oh, bisa ke presentation mode, Bu. Maaf.
Okay.
Ya, ya, Bu. Bisa ke
Okay.
presentation mode, Bu. Maaf.
Okay. Okay.
Ya, silakan, Bu.
Okay. What's okay? The last one.
Iya, Bu. Bisa di presentation mode. Bu, silakan, Bu. Terima
Okay.
kasih.
Mindfulness. We'll talk about mindfulness here, but we must understand what is the mindfulness. Um, Dr. Safita said about mindfulness, okay, and I talk about intervention, mindfulness intervention. Before we delve into today's topic, I would look to provide a deeper introduction and context to our discussion. Over the
Maaf, Ibu.
past 20, okay?
Ibu, maaf. Slide-nya masih belum bisa lihat, Bu. Screen-nya. We cannot see your slides, Bu.
Oh,
Maaf, bisa coba share lagi ya, Bu. Maaf.
okay. Okay.
Masih loading, Bu. Maaf. Ya, silakan, Bu.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's pleasure to be here with all of you today in this webinar. I talk about mindfulness-based intervention for student well-being and academic success. Before we delve into today's topic, I would like to provide a deeper introduction and context for our discussion. Over the past 20 years, I have had a privilege of working both as a lecturer and as a psychologist. During this time, I have engaged with a diverse range of students, each with unique challenges and aspirations. This extensive experience has allowed me to witness firsthand the pressure that students face on a daily basis. The student today concerned with complex academic deadline, with high expectation from families and society and the internal struggle of balancing multiple responsibilities. In many cases, the pursuit of academic excellence is not just about personal achievement. It is also deeply intertwined with cultural and familial expectations. In countries like Indonesia and India, this pressure can be even more pronounced. This academic success is often seen as a key indicator of social status and future opportunity.
Ibu, maaf, slide-nya masih yang pertama ya, Bu. Maaf,
Okay, okay. Sorry.
maaf ya, Bu. Makasih. Silakan Bu, terima kasih.
Okay, just a minute. Please, maybe operator can share my slide.
Screen.
It's not move here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's some technical problem. Ya, mungkin dari committee bisa dibantu untuk di sharing screen. Terima kasih. Ya, sebentar ya Bu. Terima kasih.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Given these realities, it becomes clear why there is a growing need for effective stress management techniques. This is why mindfulness come in. Mindfulness offers us practical and the scientifically backed approach to manage stress, enhancing focus, and fostering emotional resilience by cultivating the ability to be fully present in the moment. Students can learn to navigate academic challenges with greater clarity and calm. In the following section, I will demonstrate how mindfulness-based intervention can be integrated into academic setting, not only to reduce stress, but also to improve overall well-being and academic performance. This context sets the stage of understanding why mindfulness is a vital tool for both educators and students in our modern educational landscape. Okay. Here's the overview to today's session. First, we will explore the concept of mindfulness and its importance from a psychological perspective. Next, we will look the challenges students face in balancing well-being and academic pressure. Third, we will then introduce you to the different mindfulness-based intervention MBIs and their benefits. Following that, we will discuss how mindfulness can be integrated into educational setting. Afterward, we will engage in a brief guided mindfulness exercise that you can incorporate into your classroom or personal routine. Finally, I will offer some practical tips for implementing mindfulness-based practice in educational setting. I invite you stay present and engage throughout the session, and we will time for questions afterward. Let's begin by acknowledging the scientific challenge students face today, balancing well-being with academic pressure. In today's fast, competitive educational environment, students are under pressure to perform academically. This can lead to chronic stress and anxiety. The pressure to meet academic expectations often contribute to stress level impacting students' mental health. Second, decrease emotional resilience. Students may struggle with emotional regulation, leading to frustration, burnout, and feeling inadequacy. Third, lower academic performance. Ironically, the stress caused by academic pressure can actually impair cognitive function, leading to difficulties in concentration, memory retention, and overall academic performance. These challenges highlight the need for practical solutions that promote both academic success and overall well-being. Mindfulness-based intervention provide an effective approach to help students navigate this balance. Now, let's define mindfulness. Dr. Savita, that's called what define mindfulness, but I replies again. It is core. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention in a specific way, on purpose, in the present moment, and without judgment. This means that when we practice mindfulness, we intentionally focus our intention to whatever we are doing, thinking, or feeling, without rushing, without distraction, and without self-criticism. It's a mental practice that cultivates awareness and acceptance. Mindfulness is fundamentally about being fully present in the moment and observing our thoughts, feeling, and bodily sensation without immediately labeling them as good, as bad. Psychologically, is defined as a state of open, unjudgmental awareness that allow us to experience it moment fully and clearly. Kabat-Zinn defines mindfulness as paying attention in a particular way, on purpose in the present moment and unjudgmentally. This definition underscores several key psychological process. First, attentional control. Mindfulness training have enhanced our ability to focus and sustain attention on the present. By learning to direct and maintain our attention on a specific focal point, such as the breath or bodily sensation, we become better equipped to manage distraction and intrusive thought. This is crucial for reducing cognitive overload and improving concentration. Second, emotion regulation. One of the core benefits of mindfulness is its impact on emotional regulation. Instead of being overwhelmed by negative emotion, mindfulness encourages us to observe our feelings as transient events. This decentering our cognitive distancing allow individuals to step back over their emotional responses and reduce reactivity. Research in psychology show that this can lead to reduce anxiety and improve mood. Third, self-awareness and metacognition. Mindfulness fosters a greater sense of self-awareness. Mindfulness fosters a greater sense of self-awareness by encouraging the individual to observe their internal experiences without immediate reaction. This metacognitive awareness, thinking about one own thoughts, can lead to better decision making and enhance problem-solving skill. It also cultivates a sense of acceptance toward one's inner experiences, which can be particularly helpful in managing chronic stress. Programs like mindfulness-based stress reduction and acceptance and commitment therapy have built upon this psychological principle. MBSR, for example, incorporates meditating and gentle yoga to train attention and promote relaxation. With ACT, use mindfulness techniques to help individuals accept their thought and feeling committing to action aligned to their personal values. In essence, mindfulness breeds ancient contemplative practice with modern psychology science, offering a powerful tool for managing stress and enhancing mental well-being by transforming the way we interact with our internal experience. Mindfulness plays a significant role in student well-being. Here and some of the key benefits I tell you before. Stress reduction. Mindfulness helps students manage the pressure of academic overload, work, and personal challenges by promoting relaxation and a presence-focused mindset. Studies have shown that students who practice mindfulness experience lower level of stress and anxiety. Emotional regulation, mindfulness encourages emotional awareness, which helps students identify and manage their emotion, leading to better self-control. Instead to reacting impulsively, students can pause, reflect, and choose how to respond. Increased resilience to mindfulness. Students build emotional resilience. They develop the ability to face challenges and setbacks with a more balanced and less reactive approach, which fosters psychological well-being. Improve focus and attention. Mindfulness support the mind and improve concentration by training students to focus on one thing at a time, which is crucial for both studying and classroom engagement. When students practice mindfulness, they become more in tune with their emotional state and better equipped to manage the up and down that come with academic life. This leads to better mental health and overall well-being. Mindfulness-based intervention, or called MBIs, are structured programs designed to cultivate mindfulness skill. Let's explore three of the most well-known MBIs. First, mindfulness-based stress reduction. This program was developed by Dr. John Kabat-Zinn in the 1970s and is designed to help individuals cope with stress and chronic pain. It involves mindfulness meditation, body awareness, and gentle yoga. While originally intended to patients with chronic condition, it has since been adapted for students and educators to manage academic stress and improve focus. 2. Mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. MBCT combine mindfulness practices with cognitive behavioral therapy to help individuals recognize and change negative thoughts pattern. It is particularly effective in preventing relapse in students with depression and anxiety. MBCT can help students break cycle of negative thinking that often contribute to stress and poor academic performance. 3. Mindfulness self-compassion. This intervention, developed by Dr. Christine Neff and Dr. Christopher Germer, emphasizes self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness in the face of personal challenges. It teaches students how to be gentle with themselves when they make mistakes reducing the harsh self-criticism that can undermine self-esteem and motivation. This intervention focus on building mindfulness and self-awareness, which are key in improving emotional regulation, resilience, and cognitive function. They are beneficial not only for reducing stress, but also for improving academic success. Now let's discuss how mindfulness is being integrated into educational setting and the positive outcome it can bring. Many schools around the world, from primary to university level, are introducing mindfulness program to help students cope with academic pressure, mental health challenges, and emotional regulation. School are adopting mindfulness as a tool to not only reduce stress but also improve cognitive skill and social emotional learning. Many research in educational setting research show that when mindfulness practice is incorporated into educational setting, students experience reduced stress and anxiety. Students report feeling more control and less overwhelmed by academic pressure. Increased focus and attention. Mindfulness helps students stay present in class, which can enhance their learning experience and academic performance. Improve emotional regulation. Mindful students are better equipped to handle conflict, emotional reaction, and social interaction in a balanced way. Teacher, let's show mindfulness practice at the beginning or end of the day to help students center themselves. Some schools have integrated mindfulness program into their curriculum to teach students how to manage stress, to improve focus, and increase emotional awareness. Integrating mindfulness into the classroom environment can create a supportive atmosphere for learning, and students will learn clearly and good. How students can incorporate mindfulness into daily routines with practical, easily implementable techniques. One effective approach is the use of short structured exercise, such 3 until 5 minutes, with brief guidance. That can be practiced about starting a study session or during short break the day. This simple practice helps in centering the mind, reducing immediate stress, preserving concentration, and enhance overall academic performance. Additionally, students can benefit from maintaining a mindfulness journal. This involves setting aside a few minutes each day to reflect on one thought, emotion, and experiences without judgment. By regularly recording and reviewing this reflection, students can identify patterns in their emotional response and develop better strategies for managing stress. Educator can also support student mindfulness by integrating brief mindfulness moments into their lesson. For example, starting a lecture with a minute of guide, deep breathing, or ending a class with a short reflection can create a calm and focused environment. Over time, this practice contributes to building a resilient mindset. Now, I invite you engage in the mindfulness practice. Dr. Savita said about breathing, mindfulness breathing, mindfulness eating, mindful eating, mindful walking. I want to engage you to join with me to exercise. It's called mindful breathing. And it's great starting point to incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine. Okay, we exercise. Join with me, please. Yeah, please sit comfortable. Please sit comfortable. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor and your hand rested in your lap. Okay? Okay. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Okay? Close your eyes. If you feel comfortable, please your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath into through your nose. And then exhale gentle through your mouth. Silahkan. Please feel your breath. Just feel your breath. Feel the air as it enters your body and leave it. Just breathe and focus with your breath. Now, bring your attention to your breathing. Notice how your chest rise and fall as you breathe in and out. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Letting go of any tension. As you breathe, focus your attention on the sensation, on the air entering and leaving your body. If your mind starts to wander, it's okay. But gentle bring your focus back to your breath. Just focus, breathe, and feel the sensation. Continue breathing naturally. And with every inhale, imagine bringing in calmness. And with every exhale, release any tension. If you feel calm and release any tension, if you're ready, now slowly bring your attention back to the room and open your eyes when you are ready. Please open your eyes. Okay. How do you feel? How do you feel? Are you ready?
Peaceful,
Are you
Boo.
ready?
Very
Okay.
peaceful. I
Very
can tell you
peaceful.
this. Yes.
Okay. Now we are practicing mindful together, and I like to hear from you. How did this practice feel for you? Were any particular thought or feeling that arose during the exercise? Please join with us. Share your experience. Raise hand, maybe. Please share your views. Yes, feel more relaxed. Okay. Any more? Feel peaceful. Mr. Rafi, feel peaceful. Okay. This is a simple mindfulness breathing. Yeah, mindful breathing. Just 5 minutes until 10 minutes everyday routines in daily. There's a growing body of evidence that support the positive impact of mindfulness in educational setting. Okay. Now, if that experience you you can apply in daily routine before learning, it's very good. It's very release your tension and you can ready to learning. Okay. Next, yeah. How can mindfulness improve academic performance? We hope you found the activity helpful. This exercise can help your classroom setting. This growing body of evidence that support the positive impact of mindfulness in educational settings studies show that mindfulness-based intervention, I quote, reduces anxiety, enhance academic performance, and promote well-being. If you interested in introducing mindfulness to students, here are some practical tips. Start with short session. Okay. Introduce brief mindfulness session, 5 to 10 minutes during breaks, or at the start of a class to reduce stress and improve focus. Create mindfulness spaces. Design quiet areas for students to practice mindfulness, mediated of or simple take a moment for themselves. Make mindful class activity. Integrated mindfulness into daily activity, such as mindfulness learning, walking, or eating. For peer-led initiative. Encourage students to lead mindfulness group or workshop to foster community engagement. This simple step can help foster a culture of mindfulness that improves student well-being and academic success. The last slide, mindfulness-based intervention provide invaluable resources for supporting student well-being and enhancing academic success. By cultivating mindfulness, students can improve their emotional regulation, reduce stress, and boost their cognitive abilities. I encourage all of you, whatever you are, educators, students, or practitioners, to explore mindfulness practice and consider how they can be integrated into your own environment. The evidence is clear that mindfulness can help students lead healthier, more focused, and successful life. I think that's all. Thank you so much for your attention today. I hope you found this session insightful and benefits. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Ani. Very informative. I think practicing mindful breathing, and I think uh, today kita semua ya Bapak Ibu kita belajar mindful walking, mindful eating. I think everything is mindful, but we have been doing all unconsciously. I think it's a lot of things to learn today. And I think one more thing, Bapak Ibu, adalah yang sekarang we have so much of things going in our mind that honestly, right, I think Dr. Savita's one slide was mindful and mindful. I mean, with a double N and a single L is very important, Bapak Ibu. Karena kita sekarang kalau ada sesuatu, like for example, kita bicara sama orang, kita bilang, besok ingetin ya ke saya. I mean, it's because we have so much of things in our mind, we are asking the person, or we are asking, sometimes we tell the students, ingetin ya besok saya. So I think this is something is we ourselves as educators, as in the field of education, Bapak Ibu, we need to be very mindful. And I think this concept of mindfulness is necessary, right? Not only for students, but I think also for the faculty members and also for practitioners, I think, which was mentioned in one of the slides. Very interesting, Bapak Ibu. Sekali lagi, terima kasih banyak ke Dr. Savita, Dr. Khairuddin, dan juga Dr. Ani. Terima kasih banyak, Bapak Ibu. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful insights. Now we have the Q&A session, Bapak Ibu. Jadi sekarang adalah sesi tanya jawab. So ada beberapa pertanyaan, Bapak Ibu. There are already few questions which we will add. So let me just add the speakers into the spotlights. Just give me 1 second, Bapak Ibu. Let me just add all of them. Dr. Savita is also here. And then we have Khairuddin. Bapak, I'm not able to add you, but Bapak, are you there? Dr. Khairuddin? Bapak? Dr. Khairuddin? Bapak, maaf, apakah suara bisa dengar Bapak? I think maybe he should join
Yeah.
us shortly. Oh yeah, he's here.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Already
So,
joined.
Bapak Ibu, there are a few questions. Tapi silakan Bapak Ibu, kalau ada other questions, please put all your questions. I think today's topic is very interesting. I think a lot of questions, a lot of things we have learned. I think we went into an unexplored territory about mindfulness, something which we never thought about it. But I think now I will definitely remember while eating, mindful eating. This is something which is very important. We all love eating, Bapak Ibu, tapi do we really think and eat? This is something which is very interesting. Ibu Ani, I think I wish you would have mentioned mindful eating, and I'm sitting in India now, but I would love to eat nasi goreng. You know, my lovely, my the most lovely food which I like in Indonesia is nasi goreng. Right, I would love to have a mindful eating on nasi goreng on that part. Okay, so coming to the questions, let me just, I think Bapak Ibu ada beberapa pertanyaan. There are a few questions in the chat box, so just give me a second. Let me go down to that. Okay, and Dr. Savita, there is one request from Bastian from Universitas Muhammadiyah Lampung that you need to sing Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. So this is, let me tell you, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Bollywood is very popular in Indonesia. So I think they want to hear that from you.
In
But I
fact,
think
can you
let's talk
say
about
that
mindfulness.
they will realize in their life that kuch hota hai when they start practicing mindfulness.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. So let's finish the mindfulness, Babaibu, and then we'll come to the Kuch Kuch Hota Hai for sure. Okay. Yeah, there are a few comments which I think are important, Babaibu, that anxiety factor drags mindfulness, worry about what's coming next, being in present moment is hard. Anything, maybe Dr. Savita, you'd like to comment on this?
Absolutely. So, as participants have noticed in the Harvard University research that we saw in the presentation, wandering mind is a universal phenomena. So the point for all of us is first to recognize it's not just running away from the problem. The first step is recognition, and second step is working on it. So there are, like any other new skill, if we see mindfulness as a critical skill, there are certain specific steps that we have to learn. So we need to understand that it involves incorporating mindfulness, involves learning it as a skill, and practice is a core component of learning a skill. So we need to create a routine wherein let us start small with just 5 minutes of one practice. The practice which is as per my interest. Everybody might not be very inclined towards, let's say, mindful walking, but I'm sure as ma'am has already made us live that mindful breathing experience, breathing comes very naturally to all of us. So we need to see what kind of technique would really make us motivated, because it's just not starting, it is sustaining. So every day, 5 minutes, and if you believe me, just do it for a week's time. There are a lot of guided tutorials available. So for the beginners, I would always advise, in fact, the resources that I've shared, you will find a lot of guided videos and audios podcast available. So let us start with a hand holding. Let us start for 5 minutes practice. Keep it consistent and just see, observe the result. Once you are convinced with the result, we will be motivated to continue. That's from my side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Savita. And I think you just added on to what Ibu Annie had mentioned about mindful breathing. I think that was another one thing what we like doing it. Dr. Khairuddin, Bapa, maybe you'd like to share something, Bapa? Silakan.
Yeah. In practicing mindfulness in my class, usually first by setting a clear goals, what we will achieve in our class. And then we try to practice mindful breathing, mindful listening, and also mindful visualization. We try to visualize when we arrive at the end of the goal and we feel joy. The feel of joy can increase the capacity of our cognitive ability to observe the subject matter. So that's why we make our class fun and keep focusing because of the mindful breathing, mindful listening, and visualization. Usually, it is very useful in our class. And the second is decrease the distraction. For example, from gadget, yeah, from the uh, unwanted notification and so on. So I asked to our student to put the gadget inside the bag, and then we focus on our discussion in the class. I think so. Thank you.
Terima kasih banyak, Bapak. Thank you so much, ma'am. And just to add on to that, Dr. Khairuddin, in India, I think Dr. Savita would agree with me. In the schools, students are not allowed to bring handphones. HP nggak boleh bawa di sekolah. I know in Indonesia,
Yeah.
right, it is not one, maybe two phones they come, right? But in India, you're not allowed to bring phones. We just had one webinar between
Wonderful.
India and Indonesia. It was a cross-cultural sharing.
Yeah.
So the Indonesian student were asking the students from India, can I have your Instagram ID? And I can tell you the students were quiet. They were not sharing anything. The reason is in India, they're not, I mean, quote unquote, are not supposed to have Instagram as per the school regulations. But I think in Indonesia, right, it's very common part. So
They're very
I
common.
think
I
these are
see.
things which we should learn from each other. And we had a delegation from Samarinda, from Kalimantan Timur. They came to India, and they were amazed that students in the school, sampai kelas 12, Pak, nggak boleh bawa HP. They're not allowed to bring
Yeah.
handphones. So whereas in Indonesia is like, I think inside the class they use phones, I think they take photos, I think, and that's what is all about distraction and others. So I think taking your point validly, Pa. Thank you so much. Okay, the next question, Papa Ibu, because there are quite a few questions. Okay, this is actually from Ibu Asmi from UTMJ. Yeah, salam kenal Ibu Asmi from Universitas Teknologi Muhammadiyah Jakarta. I once read a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Do you think the power of now is similar to mindfulness? That's question number one. Maybe who would like to answer? Dr. Savita or Ibu Ani? Yeah, Dr. Savita, go ahead, please.
Dr. Sarita.
So, when we say power of now, we have already explored and understood that now is about mindfulness. And, it can come in various ways and forms. So, with growing interest of scientific community, we are finding a lot of prominent authors, including Eckhart Tolle, whose book The Power of Now is being talked about. So, somehow the concepts are same. The way they are being expressed could be different as per the author's style. But yes, the whole idea is as a humanity, we learn to be in the moment.
Next question is, education is related to culture and each country has its own culture. So can be mindfulness implemented similarly in each country? Ibu Ani, would you like to answer that too? I mean, your views?
Okay, yes. Mindfulness is overall can use mindfulness because everyone is breathing, everyone is feel your food, your meal. Yes, the mindfulness not know about culture, not about region. You can apply mindfulness every day in your daily routines. I carry out mindfulness in classroom regularly by combine with a focus reading Al-Quran before before learning. We combine mindfulness focus with Al-Quran and mindful with hearing. After that, they clear and can learning about anything. Resets your mind when you mindfulness practices. K indicator is continuity, small but continue, like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibu. A pretty interesting question because cultures are different, but I think eating, walking is the same everywhere, right, Ibu? So that's pretty interesting. But it's a very interesting question. Made me really think twice, but I think the answer is very simple, but really made me think twice about what could be the answer. So thank you so much, Ibu. I really appreciate that. Okay, next question, Bapak Ibu adalah, is meditation of yoga the best way to get mindfulness? Okay, that's pretty interesting question. Who would like to answer? Dr. Khairudin? Bapa, do you do yoga, Bapa?
Yes, because there are so many types of the way we achieve the mindfulness state. Yeah, we can use Al-Quran reading or by yoga or by even there is a mindfulness walking, mindfulness eating, and well, the most important thing I think is how to push the focus, the concentration in the one thing.
Yes.
If we already have the ability to focus our concentration in something, it's easy to transfer from one concentration to other concentration. I think like that. Yes.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
that means yoga does help in mindfulness, right? Okay, thank you. So we'll move to the next question. This is from Bappa Victor Yasadhana. Thank you, Dr. Sharma. It was an interesting, insightful presentation regarding the correlation between wandering mind and unhappiness. Can a wandering mind also be considered a natural process to adapt to the situation that makes us relax and feel better in learning? That's question number one. Adding on to it, a wandering mind can also be a sign of cognitive ability, such as working memory and problem solving ability. Is there other way to
Yeah.
deal with a wandering mind when learning? How do we navigate wandering in a reasonable force to enhance our learning and happiness? Or will a wandering mind always lead to a lack of presence? Tough question, honestly. Dr. Sharma, I'll give it to you.
Thank you so much. Indeed, it's a very interesting question. I, being a mindfulness practitioner from past 10 years, often uh, get wonder with such kind of observations. When we see in the class a curious child, not really paying attention to what you are teaching, but rather engrossed in his or her own world, we also need to understand that curiosity is a very, very important human attribute, especially among the learners. But what is more important that in that state of curiosity, is a child aware of what he or she is exploring? So, within that state of exploration, when let's say you are not in the class, but you are having in your journey or you are exploring your own phenomena, in that state also, the degree of focus will be very, very important. And here there are two, three things. When we talk about flow state of mind, so generally people confuse flow state with mindfulness. Flow state means just being unconscious of, or not being, having a track of what is happening around. Just get into the activity to the extent that you lose track of time. That's not mindfulness. Of course, flow state has its own advantages, which the psychology has proven. But here we are talking about mindfulness. So, even a wandering mind, when we see in the child, can actually be channelized in the most productive way if we let the child know and learn that how to explore that with a state of mindfulness. So how do I, in a state of confusion and anxiety, still know that yes, I am confused, I am anxious, but I have the awareness that these are the issues which are making me anxious, and just let me deconstruct what is happening. So that clarity of thought is still very important, even when I'm exploring, let's say, two or three things. So mindfulness remains the core of the learning process. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, Bapak Ibu, we are running short of time, but I think there are a few questions more. We'll just quickly we'll go through this. There's a question from Ibu Nara Noverman. Oh, sorry, maaf, dari Bapak Nara Noverman Siaputra. Maaf ya, Pak. Okay, I think Bapak loves India, so I think he introduced himself in Hindi. Namaste, mera naam Nara hai. Yeah, and there was and he just mentioned about Dr. Savita. I can going to the question straight away. Why mindfulness in education is important in digital era now? Because in era now we are always using technology for help our stress mind and solutions. Yeah, maybe anyone, Ibu Ani, you would like to mention that, and then I'll probably get some comments even from Dr. Savita. Ibu?
Okay. Digits make you full attention, your digits. Okay. If you full attention in digits, you must change your mind to other sides with harms. Yeah. You must move on from digits to focus the others for your release your attention. Just simple like that. Not only gadget make you apa, many news hoax. You will anxiety. You will like high tension. Mindfulness is one of ways to release your tension. One of ways to move on your focus for use in your daily routine. I think that is.
Okay, right. Thank you. Dr. Savita, you'd like to add on something to it?
Absolutely. I would agree with ma'am because, it is very critical in today's digital age when children are exposed to, a kind of plethora of digital platforms and whatnot. A consciousness in terms of why are they using, what is the purpose of using digital media, what is the ethical use, and how we as learner ensure that, as a teacher also, that we have clarity of mind. If we feel that some technologies are not really, kind of giving us positive result, or rather are harming us, we should also be able to have that awareness and that willpower, which of course comes with awareness, to take action. So nowadays you see people going for digital detox, right? That's a concept. So we need to understand that this becomes, equally important, rather more into digital era, because we need to really make a very conscious decision in terms of how and why we are using the technology.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Savita. Okay, the next question is from Ibu Ida Puspita. The question is to Dr. Khairuddin. Could you please give examples on mindfulness regular activity that has been successfully implemented in your class at Universitas Ahmad Dahlan or any other place that we can adapt to our classroom or to our students? Bapak?
Yeah, as I said before, that in the digital era, so many students use the gadget or handphone, smartphone, and so on. So I agree with Carl Newport, who wrote the interesting book, Digital Minimalism. This book is a very interesting, Digital Minimalism. Carl Newport says that we have to use this digital tool, digital platform, or whatever we call it, as a tool to achieve the goal of the class. So we use the technology only to improve our achievement, not as a distraction, not as a distractor, but technology as tools to improve our focus in our learning. So in our class, we can use mindfulness and digital minimalism as well. So our class can more focus in what we will learn effectively. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Papa. So I think it's with a purpose. I think we are adopting the mindfulness. That's what probably Papa had mentioned. Okay, from Ibu Ida, there's another question to Ibu Ani. Have you used mindfulness exercise we practice in the Zoom to your curriculum or to your class? Have you done any research of the impact of mindfulness activities to your students' academic performance? Pretty interesting. Yes, Ibu Ani?
Yes, I learn mindfulness and apply in my classroom every day. Just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes every day. I said that combined with reading Al Quran. And I remember before I apply that, my student is not focus that, but not just one focus. But after that, maybe I'm not measure that, gitu. But after I apply that combine mindfulness with Al-Quran, they focus, they happy because they release the anxiety and ready to learn in that time. I think that.
Ya, thank you so much Ibu Ani. I think Bapak Ibu itu benar ya. Kita kan mulai setiap hari. Every day we get up in the morning. I think we start our day not by thanking God, but I think we start with our WhatsApp and we just keep seeing the messages and the stress starts, right? And we just need to reply, rush. And then it goes on the whole day, Bapak Ibu. And then the day ends also the same way, Bapak Ibu, right? The day ends also by WhatsApp. So I think Ibu Ani has mentioned very nice. Instead of WhatsApp, Bapak Ibu, let's do mindfulness. I think let's keep that 5 minutes for ourselves. Yeah, Bapak Ibu, 5 minutes, we can think about ourselves. Let's get out of the WhatsApp. It works the whole day. But I think we need to put ourselves for 5 minutes. I think it will help us as educators. And I think if it helps us, Babaibu, it will also help our students. It will help the community. So I think it's a very valuable point, Ibani. Thank you so much, Ibu. Thank you for that. Okay, one more question from Ibu Ida to Dr. Savita. How can universities in India integrate mindfulness in their curriculum, extracurricular activities, and student support services? Dr. Savita. Dr. Savita, you're on mute.
So it's an interesting question because I, as representative from a private university, we incorporate mindfulness as part of our teaching learning process. Personally, if I talk about my class, I would agree with ma'am that it all starts with a teacher and an attitude of incorporating mindfulness. So my class starts with 5 minutes of mindful breathing, and we bring variation week wise. We have a dedicated counseling cell functioning in our university, which incorporates mindfulness as important part of it. So when we talk about students' well-being as taking a center stage in the overall learning process, we as universities and educational institutions, we need to learn that there are ways and means as part of teaching learning process, plus as part of dedicated initiative. For example, you can have a specific, let's say in a timetable, half an hour slot as a mindful slot, or where the children or the students are allowed to approach a particular center, a particular team of people who are working. We did a very interesting experiment wherein we taught one student with a mindfulness intervention, and this is a computer science program, by the way, and the same subject was taught to another student without a mindfulness program. And as we have been seeing a lot of research work, we have found a significant improvement in the achievement of the students. And whenever we talk to the students, we get a lot of kind of inclination that they are in need of such kind of support system. So probably this is the time where we all should come together, and thankfully the policymakers are now also realizing it, that all the universities, irrespective of whether they are government or private, age appropriate mindfulness intervention should be part of the learning journey of every student for their well-being.
Yeah, Bapak Ibu, a lot of things here, Bapak Ibu, a lot of things to take away from today's webinar. I think we are hearing about digital detox. We are hearing about mindfulness sessions. I think a lot of things. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the panelists. Okay, the next question from Ibu asked me, how long will it take to practice mindfulness to reach its benefits? In addition to yoga, can the hypnosis, or I think hypothesis, or hypnosis be used to get mindfulness? Interesting. Dr. Khairuddin, Bapa, you would like to share your views, Pak? How long does it take, Pak?
Yeah, we can use yoga, hypnosis, on whatever to make our focus in one thing. So it is useful. If the question is how long, it depends on the capacity of each individual. If an expert, we can reduce the time that we need to focus our concentration. But for the beginner, maybe we need more time to filter out the distractor of our thinking. But for the experts, we only need some not much time to concentrate in one thing. I think so. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything different? I think Dr. Savita and Dr. Ani would agree on the same thing, or anything to add on to that? Dr. Savita, anything to add to that?
Just one more point to add to what Sir said. What kind of distractions are there in your life? Mindfulness as a practice, if it is just for the beginners, it would give the best result when things are going in a normal way. So when you are going through a lot of ups and downs in life, probably, it's like, when you are unhealthy and you want to start with your health regime, probably the result will not be that quick. So when you are already in a normal state of health, then you can start with your walk or your healthy routine. It will give you faster result. So that is one thing, that when you're not going through up and down of your life, then this is the best time to start with mindfulness. And as we have realized, ma'am's 2 to 3 minutes of mindful breathing gave us that experience of being at peace. So yes, I mean, it depends a lot on your inclination, but irrespective of the time it would take, we should all start, and the results would be phenomenal. This is what I can say for sure.
Okay, right. So Yeah, jadi Bapak Ibu beda-beda ya. There's no fixed time to it. But yes, it's better to start now than never. I think that's the best thing to say. It's let's start now. Even though, yeah, 1 minute, I think we deserve that. Yeah, WhatsApp can be away from us for 1 minute, yeah, Bapak Ibu. Right? I think there's better things for us rather than just the WhatsApp which keeps buzzing dari pagi sampai malam sampai midnight, Bapak Ibu kadang-kadang. Okay. Pertanyaan berikutnya, Bapak Ibu, adalah dari Universitas Muhammadiyah Lampung. I believe it is UML dari Bapak Ibu Samanik. The question is, please share practical implementation for teacher educated to ensure mindful classroom considering diverse background and characteristics of the learners so students can achieve the expected learning outcomes. I think Bapak Ibu have mentioned that, but maybe some thoughts on this. If, Dr. Ani, you'd like to mention this? A diverse class, right? Every human is different. So I think, yeah, we're talking about walking, breathing, eating. I think that applies to all, but any thoughts, Ibu? Ibu Maaf, you're on mute. Dr. Ani, you're on mute. Sorry.
I told you, everyone can do mindfulness. Not only you must smart, you must handsome, you must pretty, not that. Everyone can do it because you just focus in one moment. Just, for the teacher, if you want to do mindfulness, you can give the student to get time for do mindfulness breathing. Mindfulness breathing is simple, experience, is simple practice. You can do it. Not just a student, but you must do self. Together with your student, you practice that, and you will feel happy. You feel release. You feel fresh, and you ready to teach the student in that days. I think like this.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Bapak Ibu, we are running short of time. We are actually exceeded our time. I'm about to get a message from Ibu Ida, I'm sure. Right, karena ini udah telat ya Bapak Ibu. Just one last question, Bapak Ibu. We'll take this and then we'll end up today's session. The question is actually from Ibu Cynthia. The question is, I think it's already mentioned, but let me just read it out. How can mindfulness help students who often mind wander? I think it's not the students only ya Bapak Ibu. Kita semua juga Bapak Ibu. I think we all also do mind wandering. I'm sure like I'm sitting in front of you all, but WhatsApp is coming in and I'm thinking who sent me the message. So it keeps wandering, right? I think it's just not the students, but everyone. Considering attention is key to learning, yes. And how can teachers address this issue? Okay. Yeah, Dr. Savita.
Yeah, as you said, it is happening with teachers, students, and every human being. The first point is getting it recognized and understanding that multitasking is never going to give us result. We often confuse multitasking with, a sense of achievement that I was able to do this and that. As a society, we need to understand and appreciate the fact that, the value of mindfulness, the value of being focused, onto the task is something which is going to be progressive at an individual and social level. So the whole kind of misconception of the fact that multitasking is good, it needs to be clarified. So there's a difference between multitasking and switching over from one task to other. With mindfulness, that switching over becomes effective and it takes less time. So when I'm in the class and I'm teaching, let's say I get a call from my house that something went off wrong, but when I come into the class again, it is that switching over to my classroom running, which has to be quick, and that comes through mindfulness. So we need to understand these scientific aspect of it, and we need to discuss it more often. We need to bring mindfulness into the conversation so that the youngsters get convinced that this is something for their well-being and for their success. And let's create room for mindfulness practice, make it a part of the routine when we talk about academics or personal life. That's, I think, is going to give us result.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Savita. And I think it's an interesting topic ya Bapak Ibu, karena kita selalu pikir monthly tasking adalah yang it's a part of our life. And as I think Dr. Savita rightly mentioned, by doing multitasking, we feel we are achievers. Yeah, we do wow, we are multitasking or we are multi-talented. But honestly, there is a different approach, which is a switch over, as Dr. Savita mentioned. Something to give further thoughts on this, Bapak Ibu. I think a lot of things we need to learn, and a very interesting topic, which was really shared with. So, Bapak Ibu, once again, on behalf of PP Majelis Diktilitbang dan TIEPS, terima kasih banyak Dr. Khairuddin for sharing your wonderful insights. Thank you also Dr. Ani Nurhayati and also Dr. Savita. I think I learned a lot being a moderator. I think I really learned a lot, and I really would make sure that I will start being mindful with single L, ya Bapak Ibu, bukan with double L, with single L, right? Before sleeping and after getting awake. I think this is my takeaway for today. So now with further, I think we are already running short of time, so may now hand over back to the MC. Terima kasih semuanya. Thank you, everyone. Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Thank you in advance to our moderator, Mr. Raffi Mahija, and to our distinguished speakers, Dr. Savita, Dr. Khairuddin, and also Dr. Ani. Very, very insightful and very beneficial sessions that you already gave to us. And also, I kindly inform to all participants to fill the attendance form that already shared in the chat box. This attendance is to record your attendance and also as our evaluation at the end of this agenda. And also, I hope this event will help you to improve anything that you want, especially in beneficial for your journey of your success. And also, with that, we conclude these sessions. Thank you once again, and we hope you all have a wonderful day ahead. And akhirul kalam, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Raffi.
Recording stopped.
Terima kasih Bapak Ibu. Have a mindful day, a mindful week, and a mindful year ahead. Terima kasih semuanya. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Savita. Thank you.